I remember that night more clearly than I remember birthdays or holidays. It wasn't explosive. No shouting, no doors slamming, just silence, and a lie that sat so loud between us it almost echoed. She told me she was at her friend Tasha's, said it was a girls' night, wine and movies and nothing worth thinking twice about. But something in the way she said it, something in her voice, the way her eyes darted, the pause before she spoke, it didn't sit right. And maybe I wouldn't have thought twice. Maybe I would have let it go if I hadn't opened her phone the next morning. Now listen, I wasn't the type to snoop, but something told me I needed to know. And there it was. Screenshots, messages, timestamps. She wasn't at Tasha's. She was with him. A guy from work she swore was just a friend. The one she laughed too hard with, the one she said was harmless. And yet, there it was in black and white. Her telling him how much she missed his arms, how being with him felt safe and different. And then that one message that burned into my brain. Last night was perfect. I wish I didn't have to lie. I didn't say a word, didn't confront her in some messy, dramatic way. I looked at her sitting across the kitchen table, hair tied up, sipping coffee like it was just another Sunday morning, and I felt this sudden, unbearable stillness inside me. So I got up, packed a bag, and I left. She asked where I was going. I looked her dead in the eye and said, "I know you weren't with Tasha." And her face cracked, just slightly, the way someone's face does when they're caught. Not guilty enough to break down, just stunned enough to go quiet. I walked out, got in the car, and drove until the sun came up. The first few days were a haze. People asked me what happened, but I didn't have the energy to explain. I moved in with my cousin for a while, went ghost on social media, turned off my phone some days just to breathe without notifications, without the chance of seeing her name pop up. I was angry, yeah, but more than that, I was numb. How do you grieve someone who's still alive, but just not who you thought they were? Weeks passed, then months. She texted, called, left voicemails that ranged from "I'm sorry" to "please just hear me out." But I didn't reply. Because once trust is broken like that, it doesn't come back with an apology. It doesn't come back at all. You can't unsee betrayal. You can't unhear your own gut screaming you deserved better. So I built a life without her. I got a new job in a different city, started working out again, picked up old hobbies I'd abandoned when our life together swallowed me, and little by little, the weight of what happened began to lift. I started smiling again, started sleeping through the night, and for the first time in a long time, I felt like I was living for me, not to prove I was worthy of someone else's love. Then, almost a year later to the day, I heard a knock at my door. I wasn't expecting anyone. No delivery, no plans. But when I opened it, there she was. Same face, but different somehow. Eyes red, hair a little messy, hands shaking. And in that moment, I didn't feel rage. I didn't even feel sad. I just felt calm. She looked up at me with a kind of desperation I hadn't seen before. Tears spilled down her cheeks as she choked out, "I'm so sorry. I lied. I was scared. I thought I wanted something else, and I ruined everything." I didn't say anything. I didn't know what I could say. Because this wasn't a movie. There was no music playing, no grand emotional speech inside me, just the truth, quiet, honest, and heavy. "I think about you every day," she said. "I made a mistake, the biggest one of my life." I looked at her, really looked, and I saw it. Regret. Not the kind you fake to win someone back. The real kind. the kind that wears on a person, that eats at them. But regret isn't a time machine. I believe you, I said calmly, but belief doesn't mean I forget what happened, and I can't unlive the year I spent putting myself back together. She nodded, tears falling faster now. I don't expect you to take me back. I just needed to tell you that I never stopped loving you. That hurt more than I expected, because I had loved her too. Loved her so much I gave her everything. But I had to leave when I realized she couldn't give the same in return. I stepped back from the doorway. I hope you find peace, I said. Not bitterness, not spite, just truth. She nodded again, wiped her eyes, and walked away. Sometimes closure doesn't come in answers. Sometimes it comes when the past knocks, and you don't open the door wide anymore. You just listen, then close it gently and breathe. Because healing isn't loud. It's quiet, steady, and yours alone.